Remember movement 4, take 2. Besides, you just have such a solid technique that you don't have to worry about anything, which is always nice. But I think a lot of pianists...
I worry all the time.
Yeah, but a lot of pianists have good techniques. But when I listen to you playing with Brett, you bond. You know, you do sound like one instrument together. And you're very quick and intuitive about everything that's going on in the piece, not just in the piano part, but in his part as well. So that you're constantly echoing off certain timbres that he's playing and you're playing, and I just think that's fantastic.
I just love that he always gives me something to respond to. He's never amorphous in what he's trying to do. I can always understand what he's trying to do.
Yeah. Well, Brett's a very passionate player, but the sound of his tone really ranges from the ferocious to the most delicate, which is great and something that you don't always hear with violists. Because for whatever reason,
I've never heard anybody else play as feathery as he does in some very, very distant moments.
Yeah. But then the piano, which is basically a percussive instrument, and a viola, which is a singing instrument, are two very different things, and making them meld together is the art of chamber music, really. So you pull that off really well. That's great.
Thank you.
I really have. So glad you came up to do this album with us.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It was very exciting for me. It's been pleasurable.
So I'd be interested in hearing your perspective, because you haven't played my music before. Brett has been playing it for years. You just finished playing 3 pieces that were written almost 30 years apart. And what were your just thoughts about that as piano music?
I love the vision of timbre and color that you have. It's not always active. You let things hang in places I wouldn't expect them to. When I was first working on it with Brett on his little piano, and the resonance wasn't good enough, basically. I didn't really understand what the pieces were meant to say, especially in aphorisms. I was thinking to myself, it's a little too empty, like I should be changing more here or filling in with something. And then once I actually was in a space with resonance and not just on a little upright, I was like, oh, that's what the music is saying here. And it's actually really brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I very much enjoyed moving to even just to your little piano and rehearsing it. That opened up the piece a bit, then especially moving to the hall in Queens.
Well, that piano was a pretty awesome piano. It was wonderful.
That piano really helped the
And the hall has
piece
all that
bloom.
resonance.
It just bloomed and came alive.
Yeah.
I was
I do have
entranced.
overtones. I love overtones.
I was
and
entranced
let
by the
'em
overtones.
hang, and then having the viola sort of play through that haze of overtones is really cool. Yeah. Even on the quiet notes in that piano, you could hear them through the whole hall and hear it ringing. It was really good.
Yeah.
So, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bigger piano in this room actually doesn't capture as well because the room's too
Right.
small. Whereas like the big stage you're on,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't go wrong with a big ass piano.
We are rolling.
So, was that fun?
That was fantastic. The concert last night was amazing.
Well, it was a fun concert because, you know, not every day the students at the college get to hear, you know, a live composer and all the music from one person, so it's great. So for this CD that we just finished recording here, what was the inspirational thread, if there was one, that ties it all together? Was there something you were thinking of that sort of connects them all?
So in terms of this music, I've been, as you know, writing viola music for a very long time. It's a wonderful instrument. And as I said last night at the concert, the viola for me sings right in the range of human voices,
It's true, yeah.
which is really important to me
Yeah,
because the human voice is our first instrument
right.
and is what sings,
And our last.
and what sings all of human passion.
Yeah.
And the viola sings right in that range. It's fabulous. So I've been writing music for viola. Not only that, I had a cousin who was a violist growing up who I love,
Okay.
and she inspired me to write music for her instrument,
Nice.
and I just kept going. And when we put together this album, it spans pieces that span almost 30 years.
1992 was Civil War songs.
1992 is Civil War songs.
2 months
And
ago.
Remember is 2 months ago,
Yeah.
exactly. And I didn't quite realize it until you sent out that program.
It's
I
your
said-
viola period.
I said, gosh, time flies while you're having fun.
Well, I don't know how long we've been working together. Probably the Elements premiere up in
Yes,
Boston
in
area
Boston.
was the first.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
That's probably. I mean, we've
Mhm.
probably been working together for about 10 years. So
yeah.
this is kind of nice. And then last year the concerto CD was a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about this piece. Well, I mean, all the pieces on this CD are cool because 4 of the pieces are for solo viola, and then 3 larger works are for viola and piano. And so I was really, really happy I could bring Thomas Steigerwald up here, my partner in crime.
Right, exactly.
And he did a great job, so I think it's going to be a fantastic CD. You're a pianist by trade as well. When you're not fixing
semi-pianist.
when you're not fixing railroad trains from crashing each other.
That's right.
As a pianist, what does Thomas bring to this project?
Thomas is just an extraordinary pianist and musician and chamber musician
Yeah,
because he really, the
Yeah.
two of you sync up really beautifully when you play together.
well, you know, it's funny. He almost is like family in many ways. I mean, he's almost the same age as my oldest son, so it's kind of like when we're together, he's like another child. But when I teach at Round Top for 3 summers, he was one of the piano fellows, and he was always the go-to guy for my students. So when they were working on a sonata or a concerto, I would have him accompany them, and he was amazing. He could read anything, and so then when he moved to New York, I was like, oh, we got to play together. And so we've now done two tours of China, which has been a lot of fun, and this is our first CD. So it's really, I think, a great way to bring all of us together. So, you know.
But he, besides just having a fabulous technique,
Yeah.
he just is intuitive
He's so
about
quick.
the music and
Yeah.
so quick on picking up just how
Yeah.
things should balance and
Yeah.
sound and bring out all
Yeah.
these voicings. And he just was great.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really happy.
I think I'm very lucky that he could do this project, and we're lucky that you wrote such great music. So looking forward to
Yeah.
the CD coming out. I think it's going to be really good.
And the common thread in all the music, which I think people heard, and I was looking around during the
Last night.
concert last night at people's expressions, is, well,
Our
we've known
shared
each
universe.
other, is I've been writing music because to me, it's like taking medicine against all the crazy, chaotic stuff in the world.
Yeah.
It's an inner meditative landscape of sound that I'm trying to reach. And I think despite the somewhat different periods in which I wrote this music, all of it shares that common thread.
It seems like, especially in today's crazy world, when there are more and more varied strains of sickness invading our planet,
Right.
and we become immune, those cures cease to work, and then you have to keep updating them. It seems like one nice thing that's a constant is music, and your music is sort of like the superhuman drug to combat all that's challenging.
That's
So-
what I'm trying, one note at a time. You know?
Well, anyway, thanks for being the supreme pharmacist.
That's right.